Hello there.
Ayégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayégún làwa mọ̀.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you. From wherever you are watching or joining us this moment, it is Mayegun.
Lórí YouTube. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe àní Máyégún máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you so much for joining me as usual. This is brunch time with Mayegun, and we are catching on, we're catching up on the nationwide strike between the Nigerian workers and Tifnumbu's regime. So this is what looks like the first baptismal of fire, but we don't know how biting it's going to be. But I have few clips for you. That will be the first part of the chat this afternoon or this morning.
Yes,
Nigerian workers are demanding for a new minimum wage of 494,000 naira. The one that the Tifnumbu's government says is unrealistic. To pay minimum wage of 494,000 naira will bankrupt Nigeria. So they are offering them 60,000, and the workers rejected that. Now the ASU have also joined, which makes it even more bigger. There will be no ASU strike. Tifnumbu promised some of you, the students, right? Well, there is ASU strike. Strike and go to jail. That was the last warning from Tifnumbu to the NLC. Thank you. Today. So good morning to you, and top of the moment to you once again. And thank you for joining me. So the first part of this chat, which is going to be brief, is going to be the update on the NLC and TUC strike. As of this morning, the response to the call for industrial action by the NLC and TUC actually took a grip where almost every sector complied. The banking sector, the transportation sector, the sea, the land, the air were all shut. Almost in some areas, but in most places, in most cities across Nigeria, it is total down tool, and it is day one. Remember that the Akpabiolian gang met with the NLC and TUC last night. You know that, they were trying to beg them not to go on strike and take the 60,000. But come to think of it, I know some of you are already saying it is unrealistic to pay them 494,000 in Nigeria. Some of you are already suggesting maybe 100,000, maybe 150,000. But in reality, what do you think? Somebody who works for 20 days out of 30 days, a family of 4, can do, or what can they do with the 100,000 in Nigeria of today? Some of you are also raising some kind of a valid points when it comes to the compliance of this new minimum wage, right? That how many people demanding that the government should pay 494,000 minimum wage are paying. In fact, before that, now that the minimum wage is 30,000, how many of you are paying your domestic staff the minimum wage of 30,000 to start with? Listen, that is why you have government. There is difference between working as a domestic staff or working as a slave, house slave. That's different. That's also part of what the government is doing to those who are going out there like they are working. Listen to this. Oh. In Nigeria, the inflation in Nigeria has crippled everything. The currency is almost worthless. Okay? And the criminals in the government, right, barely even pay the salaries, the minimum wage, because they loot the money. But yet, these workers, you will never see them strike because they are hungry or stop going to work. They still go to that government work, including the private works too. But do you know where and who, do you know from who they take out their pound of flesh? You and me. And that is why a police officer that is not well paid is comfortable by collecting bribe. And if anyone fails to give him that bribe, is obliged to shoot and kill because his life depends on that token that is collecting illegally. Instead of him to face the criminals that are setting the wage to demand for a better pay. Instead of you to understand what that means, a better pay for workers, what it means to even you, than to coward behind criminals who can spend trillions on themselves. But when it comes to the people, right, it's almost impossible. And to you, Baba, it is not possible in Nigeria, Jari, let's be honest. No problem. Pay a soldier 50,000 and somebody else could hire him to go and harass or beat up anybody for 100,000 naira a month. And he will do it. He could go out there and commit other illegality for people who are ready to pay him more, since his salary is just 50,000 and he can't demand for more because it's going to break Nigeria. So if Nigeria is not going to pay, you will pay. That's the idea. Because the advantage of paying the workers well is that it is actually a way of gauging government income and expenses. Here you get. Because by then you'll be able to actually know who is paying taxes, right? Who is working, who is not. And who are those who are like living off at the government and all of that. So you'll be able to balance yourself. If you pay the workers well, why? The money you pay them, they are not going to go and buy a house in Dubai. The salary you pay them, 1 million, 2 million naira a month that you pay them, majority of them are going to use that inside Nigeria, running the economy, buying and selling. The buyers who have the sellers who have buyers. The buyers who have what to buy. And the value of your own currency economy, which you have killed, by the way, on the lack of a real investment in production. Oh. But you don't want to give them that money. Even when you claim to want to pay them the 30,000, it is not general, right? So who paid the extra? Me and you. We are the ones who paid the extra that the likes of Tifnumbu and Bokwari back then, and even Tifnumbu now, the money that they are using and spending on themselves, all those billions and trillions, all those loot that you are seeing, that are supposed to really go into the Nigeria economy, really invest in your people. And they choose not. So at the end of the day, corruption is what? Corruption is the order of the day. So if they tell you that they can't pay it, and you agree, no wahala. May everybody they wallow inside that abnormalities. but I will let you know what you are doing. That's why I am here. Mine is to kind of explain it to you that you will not continue to pretend that you don't know. You do know. The choice is yours to either pretend or stand up, because you are going to continue to bid. It's like when they increase their import tariff because they want to make more money, and possibly they want to, especially when Bokwari was targeting the Igbos and their businesses as planned. Bokwari wasn't demolishing businesses of Igbos. What Bokwari did was to increase the cost of bringing anything into Nigeria. And who are those? 60 to 70% of those who are importers or bring things into Nigeria, they are from the eastern part of Nigeria. So when they were increasing all those things, increasing and increasing them, when they are making economic policies that continue to make it harder for these people to do their businesses, they continue to do their businesses because you continue to pay for what your government thought they were using to punish other people. So if the criminals are comfortable budgeting, even borrowing trillions of naira to make themselves comfortable, and then when it comes to the workers, to the people, starting from the federal to the state to the local government and even to the private sectors, which I sympathize with them, because it's like they are between the devil and the deep blue sea. Okay, the private sector said they met. Well, the misinformation minister said private sector met with them and they agreed on 60,000. I know that the same private sectors are those these criminals they are like strangulating for multi-tax or something, right? Where they are taxing them in. Well, then they and their workers also have to exist in the economy created by these rogues. The economy where what can 60,000 do for a bachelor? Or what do you think 60,000 would do for a family of 4? But they said they agreed with the government that, okay, yeah, they will pay 60,000. Some of them pay well. They pay good money. And somehow, they are struggling right now. Many of them are shutting down, leaving Nigeria. And so many people losing their jobs. The start on that is yet to come out, right? Then some of these businesses, instead of folding up, they decided to just lay off some people in order to kind of be able to increase the salary of some of their staff to meet up the economy of Tifnumbu, the Tifnumbunomics, where the likes of, what's the guy's name again? Wale Edunsin is the one in charge of your economy. Abubakar Atiku Bagudu in charge of your economy. And they are telling you to wait, don't worry, and all of that. So yeah, if you think they can't pay it, I agree with you. But the worker says, well, they would no longer take what is called minimum wage, maximum suffering. I call it a maximum shege. So today, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you to the streets of a few places in Nigeria. I will come with more, maybe later tonight, as the first part of this chat. So they were warned, do not go on strike. We are all laborers. That is what Akpabiole told them last night. A recap.
House of Representatives, my dear brother, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the Deputy Senate President, already introduced, the leaders of the National Assembly, as well as the leaders of the House of Representatives, including the House Leader, I don't know where he's hiding, Professor Imambe, where is he? Coach, I was expecting to see you next to the speaker. Okay. You don't want to look as if you are from the NLC side. Oh, you are part of them. Okay, so the Secretary to Government of the Federation, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, and the Minister of Labor and all other ministers who are here present, chairmen of committees in both the Senate and the House of Representatives relevant to labor, my brothers, we are also laborers. I hope you know that. So we are under you. My president of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the president of the TUC, talking about Joe Ajeru, and first with the Super, and my own classmate, Emmanuel Ogwaja, General Secretary. I'm happy to see you. All the leaders of the TUC and the leaders of the NLC, you are welcome. Let me recognize
Nuisance Lele.
So that was Akpabiole last night. I told you it was all pretty much like a posturing. He was not the one that was going to pay anything to the workers. So why was he meeting them other than just to try to intimidate them, warn them, and blackmail them about what they're about to do, why Nigerians cannot afford that now. They should shelve it and continue to talk, why many of them continue to die. Do you know that there are people who are Nigerian workers who have died simply because they couldn't afford their medical bills? Yeah, they couldn't afford their medication. Now, their family, they've lost their loved ones, okay? There's no guarantee that they will be paid their pension too. Like if you know that, they tell you how people, you are working, you have a job, okay? You are not rich, but you should be all right to pay your bills. But you have a country whereby the workers there, I'm talking about most of them, the government workers, not even just government workers. I'm talking about workers generally in Nigeria, including private workers. Papa, there are those who are working in Nigeria as nursery school teachers that are being paid 15,000 naira a month. Yes, right. In Nigeria, as you are watching this video, you might think it's impossible. I just told you now. There are those who are working as POS operators. You know, POS, point of sale, all these places where you go and withdraw money, I think. You withdraw money there and all that, all these POS. There are those who are being paid just 10,000 naira a month. And they too, they are workers inside Nigeria. So if you then go to where they are using Nigerians as casual laborers, that one, you have millions of Nigerians who are in that category, casual laborers. You find them inside all these, Pakistani factories, Indian factories, Chinese factories, Lebanese factories. You do not want to do a documentary on that to understand what they go through and what they are paid with no insurance, no nothing inside Nigeria. And they are Nigerians. No joke. But yeah, the laborers at the top believes that Nigeria is going to bankrupt if people are actually paid the value of what the economy is, the inflation. You need to pay them that. And paying them well, paying your workers, starting with the government, paying them well, is actually like you cutting corruption 50-50. Now, it justifies when anybody is caught, stealing or doing any illegality, right? They themselves would know that it is a straight to jail. Like there's no point in trying to fight it because you have no reason to be a thief, except if you are a thief. But you've already paved the way that do whatever you can. Oh. I mean, Baba, in Nigeria, you will see people working in government whose salary is just 45,000 naira. They will be driving 10 million naira car. They have 2 houses. And they will be bragging that, I don't touch my salary. I've never touched my salary in the last 8 years. And they think it's a good thing. And others will be like, Baba, Tuali, chairman, please show me the way. Chairman, please, help me find a space so that me too can, Baba, please now. That's how abnormal the entire place is. But a lot of you never probably pay attention that much. That is what the rot does. Pay them poorly and let them do whatever they can to make more. But that is just like few people, like having it's like a little fries, and the majority are going to be those who are going to pay what you think you are stealing. Just kind of like squeezing people. And you're not stealing from government, you are stealing from the people. And in the process of stealing from the people, you make their life more unbearable. Now, majority of them are salary earners too. Okay, so when they make money, as they are budgeting for groceries, budgeting for rent, budgeting for transport and the rest of other bills, they will also have to budget for bribes for them to get this document, that document, or get something from the government establishment. Because government is not paying their workers, you would have to part from your own income to bribe them for them to survive for that month, for that year. See how the entire system is so wronged from the That is what it does. Corruption. Criminals in charge of the contraption. So, at the airports in Abuja, I think in Abuja this morning, in Lagos as well, take a look at the scenario.
This is normal Monday morning, and you can see within the terminal building, which are just small goods to get into it. No activity is happening here. These are all the counters, checking in counters. They are not here. You can see one of the fan offset chasing people out. Mr. Adams, you can see him chasing people out, shouting, telling that lady to go out, that nobody should be found inside. We're only opportune to come inside this morning since we resumed around 5:35. Now they are here. You can see staffs moving around. All the counters empty, and then passengers are outside, and some are already returning back home because they feel that nothing will happen today. All right, thanks, Charles. I'm done from this.
So inside the airport, same thing somewhere around the seaport. I think it's in Apapa or so. I'll look for that clip, okay? But listen to this. This one too.
I'm sorry.
Ẹ bá lọ sí ibi tó ti ń wọkọ̀ òfurufú ní airport lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí wọ́n ti grand ẹ̀ látàlẹ́ àná lágo 12 àwọn oníná wọ́n ti yọ iná iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná kò sí iná àwọn olómi gbogbo ẹ̀ka àti gbẹ̀.
So that's Ikeja in Lagos. Meanwhile, in that same Lagos, Apapa.
Hello, ọ̀gá mi sà. Ọmọ ọ̀jẹ̀ ká wọlé o. Ọlọ́run ọ̀jẹ̀ ká wọnú pọ́ọ̀tù o. Èrò ló wà ń gate báyìí bọ́lẹ̀ express nísìn. They don't allow anybody to enter. It's like the strike still dey hold. People dey here gather, motor sef no fit enter. Shey you see? Oh, people plenty for here. Oh, that's just it.
So the directive was that all Nigerian workers, the one that